architecture today,
Okay.
and today it will be a small session only.
Mhm.
From tomorrow, we'll start the installation and then we'll take forward. Okay?
Okay, sure. Yes.
Yeah. So, architecture. Yeah. So, as you can see that OM is basically an entire architecture, and it is completely built on Java. So it is totally like all the implementation is developed. I mean, all the product is development done in Java with all the advanced Java type like J2EE, then beans, all these things. So, and it consists of like four tiers basically, four tiers, which is like the presentation tier, the business tier, and the data tier, and the middleware tiers. So, what is there in presentation tier first? So, presentation tier. So what exactly is there in presentation tab? Presentation tab, as the name suggests, it is like the look and feel of the product, the front end of the product where the users can see uh, the entry into the product, and it is like it consists of all the screens with the OIM where the user can interact with the product. So it normally contains three screens. What are those three screens is like design console. Vijay, are you there?
Yes, Satish. Just put it on mute.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So one is the
There is
design
some
console.
background sound, I guess.
1 second, I'll switch off the fan. See that.
Okay.
Oh, 1 second. Now is it fine?
Yes.
Yeah. So it contains the three screens. What are those is like design console, the sysadmin console, and the
Okay.
identity console.
Okay.
So basically, these three screens are related to Identity Manager, and apart from that, there it is like it interacts with the different middleware components like WebLogic, BA Publisher, and all those things, right? So those screens also will we can see while working with those things. But
Okay.
coming to the product architecture, if, we are talking completely about OIM. So OIM consists of these three screens. So apart
Okay.
from that, we will be interacting with the WebLogic console,
Okay.
the enterprise manager from WebLogic enterprise manager console,
Hmm.
and so are related.
Okay.
So
So
the
while
next tier is
installing,
the
yeah, while installing
yeah.
that, we'll have to go through these consoles also, right? That WebLogic console, Enterprise Manager, and the SUA related ones.
Yeah, like while installation, it will automatically install all those things.
Uh-huh.
While configuration, like after installing, we need to create domain and all, right? So at
Yes.
that time, it will deploy, We won't do manually, but during on-screen instructions will be there, right? While
Mhm.
clicking next, it will
Yes.
deploy all those related jar files and WAR files onto the WebLogic console,
Okay. So
onto the WebLogic.
that is going to be similar like wherever I mean we are installing the OIM for the first time. So everywhere it's going to be the same thing, or is it like we need to do I mean some other
Yeah,
things?
everywhere it will be the same thing. Everywhere it will be the same thing.
Okay.
Only like design console is like it is a thick client. Design console is a thick client, and remaining consoles are thin clients.
Okay.
So you are aware of this thick and thin client, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So only design console we need to install in our desktop or in our personal machines. And the
Mhm.
remaining things it will be accessible through URLs.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
So the next tier is the business tier. Business tier is where the all the like OEM related functionalities like the provisioning engine, reconciliation engine, and the auditing engine. So everything like whatever the OEM is supporting, like reports and all related, these like all the functionalities which are supported by the OEM was developed in Java, Beans and all,
Mhm.
and these things are kept in the business tab.
Okay.
So just go through quick what are there in this thing.
Mhm.
So you can see that the core services which are required for communication, the
Mhm.
API services, the integration services, the platform services. So all this comes into the business tab where we can see the SPML, EJBs, all the Java artifacts
Yeah.
like the frameworks which are used inside the identity management like connectors, adapters, GTC connector, remote managers. All these
Mhm.
functionalities coming across in IDM in the connector
Okay.
framework, which is like to interact with the different target systems.
Mhm.
Will be coming across these connector frameworks. So the connectors are the main components which are useful in integrating the applications, different applications with the identity management. So
Mhm.
the the development or the Java beans and something, some Java development what we have done in OAM to develop the
Mhm.
product will be placed in the business tab.
Okay.
ICF is completely, I mean, it's the connected development part.
Mhm.
So the next one is like we have the middleware tier. So middleware tier is like we'll be, as I said, we'll be coming across different middleware components along with the IDF.
Okay.
Like we'll be using the WebLogic. It's a middleware. So be a publisher, and then we have uh, entitlement server. So all these components will be placed in the middleware tier.
Mhm.
So we'll be coming across all those things for different we'll be using the WebLogic to host the IDM application. We'll be using the SOA for approvals, the notifications, and we
Mhm.
have publisher for reporting, and the entitlement servers for authorizations and giving like roles like admin. We'll be having different sets of roles within the identity management.
Mhm.
I mean, basically they provide something around 20, 22, I guess, 22 roles. So we
Okay.
won't be able to add extra roles, but if we want to change, modify any of the role or say add or remove some certain privileges to that role, we need to use the entitlement server to do those kind of things
Okay.
in the management. And the last one is the data tier. So what it will be coming, what we'll be having it is like we'll be having the database
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be having a different labs. We'll be communicating with different labs for auditing for auditing purpose, the authentication purpose. We'll
Mm-hmm.
be communicating all those things.
Okay.
So database, it's like we'll be having different schemas created for different components of identity management.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, basically, we'll be coming across the MDS, which is related for metadata,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be having OAM schema. I mean, after installing the database, we'll be creating all these schemas,
Okay.
um, MDS, OAM, OPSS. Uh, These three are related to OAM. Apart from that, while installation, we'll be creating the schemas for other components of the identity management stack as well, like OAM, OAM, as I told. But
Mm-hmm.
which are like interrelated to OAM is these three things:
These three
MDS,
things.
OAM, and OPSS.
Okay.
Then so these are different things again. Like when we come across access management or adaptive access management, we'll be going across those things.
Okay. And
So
Satish, one more thing was like, see, I'm just giving you an heads up, kind of like in my current project, right? I mean, where I'm working, what is happening
yeah,
is the data, for example, like the data creation, I mean, that user provisioning is happening or user creation in OM is happening from data which is coming from a different application, that is SAP
yeah,
application. So from there,
uh,
the data is being fetched and it is getting created in OM. And there is another
yeah,
way is directly into the OM itself. There will be like modify screens, right? The
yes,
admin form. So where from there we are creating the users and then making
yes.
changes. So
Uh,
um, that is one
yeah.
thing. That is one thing how it is happening. So I mean, I'm just giving a heads up. Like you can let me know like what is feasible, what is not feasible in those lines.
What
So
you said is what you said is called a trusted reconciliation. So basically, one application will be treated as a trusted source, and from
okay,
there, OEM will bring the users, and it will create users inside OEM.
okay,
So what we treat as a trusted source, that is
hmm
like entry point for OEM. So it has to believe blindly that application
hmm
to compare the users in other applications.
okay. So
Yeah.
basically, in this case, what is happening is from where I mean, from where the data is being picked up, that is from the SAP's system. That is, it is
Mm.
through. I mean, it will be. I mean, the transfer is I mean, done through XML files. So it will be putting into a staging table, then into the actual user table.
Okay.
Okay, this is how.
So,
Yeah, this is how
are
the.
they giving XML files or CSV files?
It's that's what XML file.
Okay. Normally, it would be a CSV file.
Yeah,
So, the I mean depends on
depends
different
on different
project.
appli. Yeah,
Yeah.
and one more thing after that also is something like once this is done. So the first provisioning, what they'll do is through they will do it in Active Directory.
Okay.
So I mean, in our sessions, are we touching upon Active Directory by any chance, or we are?
Yeah. I'll be teaching like the provisioning reconciliation part with the AD only.
Okay, sure. Okay, then it's good. And another
Yeah.
thing is like in our application. Now I'm
On
just giving
the
an yeah.
see, yeah. Yeah. Please continue.
Yeah, in our application, there are other things also saying like, see, uh, for example, that's one is AD, the other is like another application is on the SAP front. I mean, provisioning into the SAP and the SAP applications. Another is directly to a database. Another is the disconnected app.
Okay. Yeah.
So all the things are there. So I'm just wondering, like, I mean, if I get a feel of those things, that will be great.
We'll be coming, I mean, I'll be teaching on AD.
Yeah.
We will definitely go through the uh, disconnected application.
Okay.
The database thing, yeah, we'll try to do that because
Mhm.
it's local mission C, so we cannot install more applications. That is the problem.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
won't work. The RAM won't be supported, and it would be
Mhm.
very slow. So
Okay.
we'll try to directly provision the users into the Oracle database, like what we are installing for OAM.
We
We'll
can
try
have a
to
different table or something on the same server or
uh,
something like.
yeah, we'll try to do that thing, but it is we need to see the feasibility whether we can do it or not. Because if
Okay.
it disturbs OAM schemas or anything, then the whole application will get crashed.
Now, would it be feasible like creating a different schema just for one application on the Oracle database itself, like just I mean, just single table or something wherein you can just provision that user into that table.
Yeah, we'll definitely try that one.
Mhm.
Let me see that one. I mean, if it does not create any problem, then it's a small thing only because we are using the same database. Then it won't be a big problem.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. But if you want, I can show things from my project or anything like that because I'm
Okay.
currently working with the Oracle database connector only. So
Okay.
if I mean if that is not possible with our sessions, I'll try to show what is there in my project. We'll see that later.
Okay. Sure, not a problem. Yeah, thanks, Satish.
Yeah. Uh, so the fourth part is data tag. So the data tag, it is, as I said, OIM database.
Mhm.
The schemas like the metadata store, the OIM store, and the identity store. So integration between different labs and identity manager.
Mhm.
So all the data, all the data related to the user, the configurations, all the the user data will be stored in the OAM schema. All the configuration related data will be stored in the MDS schemas. And the identity store is we'll be provisioning all the user data to an LLab directory, and it will be used as an identity store for authenticating users in access management perspective, basically.
Okay.
So it is this thing. As I said, the entity data, transaction data, all this will be stored into the OIM schemas.
Okay.
So the next part is this is the basic product architecture, and the next part is like how OIM is implemented within the organizations.
Mhm.
Like so how it is implemented, what is the high availability, and how many types of how many number of nodes. So these things will be there here, will be discussed here. So basically, as you're aware, so any product which is implemented in an organization, it has to meet certain standards. Like it has to provide availability all the 24 hours, 24 by 7 times, and it has to provide sufficient. Uh, I mean, it should be able to process certain requests number of I mean traffic. I'm telling about the traffic. So to do all those things, OIM has to be implemented in different nodes, and it should be available all the times because if one node goes down, people will be able to access through another nodes. So basically, it would be a two-node or three-node architecture depending on the organization's uh, strength, people, how many people is going to access and all. So it
Okay.
will be so basically in my current project it is like four nodes are there.
Uh-huh.
So totally four nodes are there. It's a banking client. So
Okay.
four nodes are there. Uh, and before that it will be like uh, before these four nodes it will be front-ended by the web servers. By the web servers, and then it's the load balancers. So but right now, like in our sessions, we'll be installing in a single node because it won't be possible for us to demonstrate the uh, two node and all those things. So
Hmm.
it is a single node installation, but
Okay.
it will be similar like if you have been any time into admin kind of job, you'll be knowing these things. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it will be installing the same things into the other machines as well. Only the only part is like we won't create a domain. We'll be creating the domain only in one of the machine, and then we'll just pack that entire domain using the commands provided with that application server or anything. So we'll pack those entire domain, and we'll be unpacking those domains into the other nodes of the other machines. And after like it is like we'll be giving the front end URLs for all these four nodes, and
Mm-hmm.
in the load balancer we'll be configuring the individual IP addresses of each machine, so that whenever a request comes, the load balancer will be sending the request to any of these four nodes, and so one of the machine will be processing that request. So
Okay.
the load balancer will send the request on depending on different algorithms which are configured within the load balancer.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is about like product architecture and normally how it is implemented in the like real time.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any doubts up to now?
No, actually, yeah. This I'm able to get this thing.
Okay. So, so this is about architecture.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow we'll start with the installation.
Okay.
Um, so basically installation will consist of these things like the first we need to install the database.
Mm-hmm.
Then we need to create schemas using the RCU, repository creation utility.
Okay.
Yeah,
This one,
actually,
this RCA is already there in that installation thing itself, or is it like a separate application or something that we need to have?
it's a separate setup will be there. We need to download binaries, RCA
Mm-hmm.
binaries, and then we need to create schemas.
Okay.
Basically, it is like database will be installed by the DBA team
Mm-hmm.
normally in the organizations. So
Mm-hmm.
RCU it is like either DBA or OIM people will do, because sometimes if they give access to us, we
Mm-hmm.
need to create. Otherwise, it is like we need to help them in creating the schemas using the RCU.
Okay.
Normally in the dev servers and all, OM people they themselves will do it. But
Mm-hmm.
if it is like something like SITs and productions, at those times it is like the DBA team will be specific DBA team will be there, and we need to assist them in creating the RCUs.
Okay.
Most of the time it will be handled by the DBA teams. We
Okay.
just need to ask them if there is any uh, issue or anything like if they need
Mm-hmm.
any support. And
Okay.
the next part is like we need to have a WebLogic application server.
Okay.
So we'll be installing our application and hosting our application OIM application on the WebLogic application server.
Okay.
Then it is we need to install SOA
Mm-hmm.
and then IDM. So IDM here it is like entire stack we are going to install, not only identity manager but all the other components of identity management stack like access management, adaptive access management. All these things will get installed in this installation.
Okay.
So after installing, we definitely need Java first.
Mm-hmm.
We need to install first.
Okay.
So after installing all these things, then it is like configurations we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Configuration. We have a WebLogic configuration where we'll be creating the domain and the admin servers and the managed servers,
Mm-hmm.
and then IDM configuration is there. So IDM inside the IDM configuration, it is like we need to create the design console is there, right? So we need to create the design console, and we need to like set up the passwords for the default user and few small things that so after that we need to start the servers and we need to see the things. So this is the
Okay.
installation part. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I mean, we cannot complete these things in a single session. It might take 2 or 3 sessions for this
Mm-hmm.
one installation.
Okay.
So, so uh, we'll try to finish up to RCU tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on this thing like system and speed, it
Yes.
will take some time. Actually, I can
Okay.
start that, but it is like I need to install it in a VM. So I need to create a VM. That is why I have I'm not I'm not starting that one today.
Okay. Sure.
So here, yeah, today evening I'll prepare the VM,
Mm-hmm.
and tomorrow when we start the session, we'll directly start with the installation.
Okay. And Jelani
Is
was
that
saying
right?
like there will be some server available also, right? Like, or you are going to install on your system.
No, he gave confirmation that there is no availability of server.
Okay.
So we need to install in our personal machines only as
Okay.
of now. Yeah. He went through the market and it is like so IDM is like nowadays it is getting popular. Before that it is not popular and trainings are like now it is having very much demand. So
Mm-hmm.
till now market we don't find servers and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
That is so yeah. So to the this is it for today. So we'll start the installation from tomorrow.
Okay. Sure, Satish. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks,
Satish and
Vijay.
Vijay, thanks for your time. Okay,
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jelani. Yep.
okay guys. Yeah, bye. Take care.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Bye.